Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and this is the Deaths of Chromie full guide and walkthrough. First of all, I'm just kind of showing you how to get there. You need to go to Old Dalaran in Northrend and fly south to Rimrest Temple. And basically, this guide is going to be very long. If you do not, if you've already done the starting part means you killed the 4 dragon shines and you're actually able to try to complete the whole thing. I'm going to give you in the description the time where to pick up from. It's going to be about almost halfway through. You're going to pick up and be able to just watch the second half if you want of the actual guide on how to do it. This is a full guide, full walkthrough, so I'm going to take you through every single aspect of this. Some things I will also want to point out is that I don't mention or I don't have video footage of exactly is you're going to be getting reputation with Chromie the entire time you're doing this. So when I say to skip over some certain things, that's why. I'm also not going to get into everything in this first part. This first part is just how to set up the Deaths of Chromie scenario. So when you arrive here at Rimrest Temple, you'll see Chromie. If you're like me, there's a lot of people there. Talk to her. She'll give you a quest. Your very first time in here, you have to talk to her again. Click the little dialogue box, and you will start up here. So basically, you're going to go talk to her past self, or future self, I should say. You're with her past self. It's kind of weird, but another thing, just point out real quick since I see it on the video there, your self buffs will be off if you have self buffs. So you can flask, you can food, you can do all that kind of stuff, but paladins, for example, your blessings will be off of you. You want to make sure you put those on so you have your buff if you're a rep paladin. That's something I forgot to do a few times. So after you do that, you're going to complete that quest. You're going to come in again. The second time, you're going to talk to each of the dragon aspects. So you have like Caligos, I don't know all of them by heart, green, blue, Chromie, who talks about the black, and then Alexstrasza, the red. So you're going to talk to all these dragon aspects. They're not going to tell you anything that's completely strange. This is because the spoiler, they're kind of like working in the shadows and trying not to make it look obvious or whatever. So they're kind of normal problems, but they're not normal things causing the normal problems, is probably the best way to say it. So you're going to talk to all these people. They're basically going to say nothing really weird, except for when you talk to Chromie, she saw a black dragon, which is kind of weird. It ends up being nothing, but that is at least a little bit weird. It's Raytheon, I believe. So anyways, so you talk to all these things, and now what's still going to happen is you're going to, after she's done talking, you're going to see Chromie die again. So now at this point, you're like, okay, what the heck are we going to do now? There is a storyline that goes along with this, and if you're into RP, you can go ahead and read through it. I like it as well, but I know a lot of people don't, so I wasn't going to like go through all the different role-playing stuff. It's some people probably bad enough that I'm including this. So basically, what you do find out from her is you can't go back too far. You can only go back 15 minutes because they're blocking it. Now, first, let's get into these talents here. So I'm making this video for the purposes of only having the first 2 tiers of talents. You can get first 2 the first day. That's why. You have to unlock the second tier with reputation that you'll get just from doing the stuff. It'll be no problem, easy. What I chose to do for the talents was the speed boost on the one. You have stun or speed boost. I chose speed boost, and on the second tier, you choose either she's a tank or a healer. I chose healer because I'm a damage. If you're a damage, you're going to want to choose healer. The only time you want to choose tank is if you are a healer. So if I was a holy paladin, I would choose her to be a tank. Like if that's the only thing I had my artifact power, the only thing I had gear for was that, then that's what I would do. So I'm just going to go through and show you how to do all these different dragon shrines. Again, some of this might be a little bit long, a little bit just kind of boring in a way, but I just want to show you how to do it. You don't have to talk to these people at the dragon shrines. I did, just because I saw something that suggested it when I watched the Q&A. So this dragon shrine, basically, I'm going to show you how to do it all. There'll be pauses in my talking, I'm sure, because it takes a while. This one's kind of annoying. Basically, you see these birds and these flowers around, and you're just going to go around and you're going to kill these things and collect items that they drop. Now, what you'll see is when you pick up the item, it actually tells you how many of each thing you need. You need like the feathers from this, and like I don't even know what it is from the flowers. There's the plumage, and then you'll kill these flowers as well, and you'll have to combine these things, and that'll let you go into the Emerald Nightmare. So the Emerald Nightmare is taking over this dragon shrine is kind of the thing. So that's kind of going along with the theme of this expansion as well. Twisted fronds, and these ancients are important because these are where you're going to go once you're in the Emerald Nightmare. So you'll see there's 3 of them. So there's one there, there's one on the opposite side, and then there's one on the other side of the lake from where I'm at right now. So they're kind of in a triangle pattern, and you're going to have to kill enough of these things to do this 3 times. So you can either just go through and kill everything and collect all of the items that you need, or what I did was I did them one by one. I'm only going to luckily show you killing the stuff 1 time, and then I'm just going to show you killing the things in the Emerald Nightmare as well. Just to kind of show you where they are in a way. As you can see, actually, now might be a good time to look. I don't have my buffs on right now, so I'm missing out on quite a bit of damage because I didn't realize that it was clicking off all the time. This is literally, you know, the very first time I'm doing it as well. So if you need the setup part, you know, these mistakes might be mistakes that you could make as well. So I'm trying to point those out. So I entered the Emerald Nightmare with the item. You can see there's an action button on my screen here. And you're just going to come kill these 2 things that are like siphoning off the Ancient or whatever. Now, what that action button is now is the Sands of Time thing. I don't use this at all. If you're going to use these during the setup, so you've never done the setup before and you're using it during the setup, go ahead and use it for reputation, use it for damage. You can't complete it the very first time you do it. You're unlocking these things out. It might take you 2 times, it might take you more times just to get it set up. So go ahead and use it for reputation, use it for treasure, use it for damage to make it go faster. But we'll get into, once the actual completion starts, we'll get into exactly what the Sand of Time stuff does, exactly how to use those in the most efficient way possible. But for now, you can use reputation for it. That's always one of the options. You can use Time War badges, things like that. Just the reputation just to get that 2nd talent unlocked, because you might as well you need to have at least the 2 talents. Doing it with the 1st talent would be pretty hard. I guess it wouldn't be impossible once you know what you're doing, but that would be a little bit difficult. So as you see, I'm going to kill this final thing here, and there we go. And so now your attacker lies at the Dragon's Claw, you see it says. So you go over to the Dragon's Claw, which is basically where I came in at, and on your map there'll be a question mark. It won't be there until Chromie gets there, because Chromie is the question mark. And as you can see, during this first time, it was a little bit laggy right here. So that's why my guy's just kind of summoning. This is like right after it opened up, basically. So now this is where I'm going to go over these bosses, because I'm not going to go over them in the other part. So you might be coming back to this to watch how to do the bosses if you don't know how to do them properly. What this guy in the Emerald Dragon Shrine does, he does a Nightmare Bolt. He puts a stacking, ticking debuff on you that you can cleanse off if you have, it's either a poison or a disease, and you can cleanse that off yourself. He has Sleep, which you want to interrupt because it'll put you to sleep, and then he has a thing that goes on the ground that you just don't want to stand in, or else you'll do massive damage to you. So he's going to drop a Portal Crystal. So all the Dragon Shrines are going to drop a Portal Crystal, and we'll get into the portals when we actually go to finish it, because the portals are kind of important. So the different portals are Ruins of Anderhall, Well of Eternity, Hyjal, and Calling of Strathholm, and we'll get more into those. So secondarily, I came to the Azure Dragon Shrine, and again, I talked to this person. You don't have to talk to this person at all. You can kind of see this centaur thing walking around. That'll come into play later. You don't need to do that yet. You can if you want. It's kind of pointless. You're just going to kill stuff in here. I'm not going to kill very much of it on the video, but you're just going to kill and loot until you get 50 of the item that they drop. So it doesn't take too long. The bigger ones, while they have a lot more health, they do drop a lot more than the little guys do. Once you have 50 of them, you'll see the question mark on your screen again, or on your map. That's Chromie. You're going to fly up to this platform, and you're going to summon this boss. Now, this boss might be the most difficult one, especially for melee. It only does a couple things. It does Void Blast and like Looming Shadows or something like that. And so you can interrupt Void Blast if you're quick, and then Looming Shadows puts a circle on the ground, does a ton of damage, and silences you. Now, this boss is stunnable, so I do recommend stunning the Looming Shadows as much as you can. This is one of the first times of me doing it, so I don't really know what I'm doing. And you'll see in the later video, well, I don't show the full kill, but you'll see there's a lot less of those Looming Shadows on the ground, because I kind of knew what I was doing more. If you stand in the Looming Shadows too long, you will die, and that's just something to be cognizant of as well. I don't think at this point I knew that you could even stun him out of it, which is why there are so many on the ground. So you do want to watch out for that. I did die once to this the very first time, so this is actually my second time killing this one, or attempting to kill it. And as you see, he'll drop a Sand of Time, but he'll also drop the Chrono Shard, I don't use any of my Sands of Time just because I wasn't thinking really. And that Chrono Shard opened up another portal. Now we have the Ruby Dragon Shrine. So Ruby Dragon Shrine, we're just going to, again, I went and talked to this person, but what we're really going to be doing here is we're going to be killing the groups or the packs on the outside edge here. Basically, you don't need to kill the little ones, I don't believe. I think you just need to kill the big guys. So you're just going to kill the leader. I pull a bunch of other stuff too. And you're going to go to each basically corner. There's 3 of them, I believe. There's this guy, a Frost Lich thing, and a big Abomination guy or whatever. So you're just going to go ahead and pull these and kill them. Not too much to talk about here. I just wanted to make sure I had all these in. So just in case anyone was confused on where to go or what to kill, that we had that. I also will point out, so here's the second one. Again, it's kind of in a triangle pattern. And I will point out that the second half of this video is a little bit more fast-paced because this is just for literally beginner. You haven't done it yet. You have no idea what you're doing. So I just wanted to make sure it's a little bit more complete, a little bit more showing everything or as much of everything that I can without making the video even longer than it already is. Okay. So there's that one. And now we'll kill this big Fester guy. He has a decent amount of health. And you can see the reputation's piling up, piling up, piling up. It's really quick, especially if you actually use your Sands of Time. I mean, I got my second talent really quick without even using any. But if you use that and use the reputation, you'll get up to your second talent like nothing. So your next time in, you'll have the second talent, and you'll be able to choose her to be a healer most likely, or a tank if you are a healer, and that's only, I want to stress again, only if you only have healing gear and everything should you be doing this as a healer. I don't trust Chromie as much as I trust a player to do damage. And if you do, you might want to have to choose this. You might even need to choose the stun for her as well. Okay, so there's the next Chrono Shard. The last one, well, I guess we better go kill the boss first. We didn't get the Chrono Shard yet. So we need to go summon the Lich in the tree. Sorry for that. So this Lich is pretty easy. It's one of the easier ones. I recommend tanking her next to Chromie if you can, because she's going to do deep freeze. I thought it was going to be on me, but she actually freezes Chromie in a sheet of ice. Other than that, she just pretty much just casts Frostbolt at you, and there's not really much to worry about with her. So just, DPS her down as fast as you can. If Chromie is... I don't have Chromie next to me, but you can just cleave it down. You don't have to target it or anything. You can just cleave down the ice beam or whatever, or the ice block, and get Chromie free and allow her to keep helping you out there. So there's another deep freeze. They'll typically get off 2 deep freezes. This one is not stunnable, so they'll typically be about 2 deep freezes that they get off, which is fine. And you can see it says deep freeze on my screen. That's Chromie. So I can do my Pro Shard. This is where I finally see her. She's taking quite a bit of damage. You can see her health going down fast. So there we go. I get her out. Good job. And now we'll go to this one. I sped this up because this one's really annoying. So even though I wanted it to be complete, I mean, I did speed this one up a little bit. So you're going to go into this cave, and you're going to be going to the back of the cave, basically. Now, I think I actually go the wrong way at first. I think you need to go left at first. I went right, so that's just going to take you to nowhere. Although this was a way to get reputation up, so if you for some reason do need the reputation, this is one way to get your reputation up, I suppose. Not the most efficient way, but yeah. So did get a Sand of Time there as well. I believe I will not address this in the second part of the video, so this is a good time to say. I believe that the chest for the Obsidian Dragon Shrine does spawn where I just was at, to the right there. So I never will do that because it's a waste of time in my opinion. But if you are really needing a chest or you're really needing some more Sands of Time, you can go over there and check that one out as well, because I will not address that in the video because I never did that myself when I completed it. So you're going to go to the left, keep pulling all this stuff, so much stuff. Again, if I would have used my Sands of Time and maybe got some damage buffs, this would go even faster. We'll get into that, of course, though. That'll be one of the first things we talk about when we get into the actual how to do it part of it. These things are annoying. There's so much trash in here. And again, spoiler alert, but you find out that the guy you have to kill is actually right at the start of the entrance. So like before you even walk in the cave. So you basically did all this crap for nothing, is what you find out, which is just awful to find out, really. All right, so you're working your way all the way to the back just so you can fight this guy that drops the thing that lets you know the guy's in the front. Again, you get some sands of time, which is nice. So yeah, this guy, the biggest thing, he is interruptible, stunnable, and all that. The biggest thing that about this particular one that I did want to watch out for was that he does this spin around move, I believe, and then crucified axe, I believe this is it right here. And there's these balls on the ground, so you want to avoid those. And I made sure I got away from him when he was doing this. I don't know if that was imperative or not. I don't know if I could have just taken it to the face. But after the one in the Azure Dragon Shrine, dying to it once, I really just wasn't going to try to doubt it. Even though this is not like the final boss, I didn't even know that at the time. He kind of acts like one, really, with all his different abilities and those boulders rolling and everything. Alright, so we'll kill him. There we go. And then we'll accept the quest here, and that's basically telling you to go outside in front. So right outside the cave, so I skipped everything getting out of the cave, right outside the cave to the left. That's where the guy is. So the big thing to point out too is you'll never have to do all the other crap again. You're only going to be killing the bosses from here on out. This guy has Carrion Swarm, you can move out of the way. Infernal Strike, which will stun you and summon an Infernal. You can cleave that down. And he has Cripple, which just slows you that you can interrupt. He is stunnable. Just to reiterate again, you only have to kill these bosses from now on. After you kill them the first time, you don't have to go and do all the other crap again. That's a one-time thing. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but that's just a one-time thing. You can just do the bosses from that point forward. Okay, so we're going to fly back to the Obsidian Dragon Shrine now. And we'll turn in our last Chrono Shard that we just got, and there's that. So this is going to be the full guide now. This is the actual how to complete it. Again, we're in the talent screen here. I chose the speed boost, Chromie as a healer. As you can see at this point, when I got to this part of it, I did have 4 of them unlocked. It is completely doable too. That's how I'm showing you to do it, is if you had 2. So you don't need the other 2 at all. It's purely luck. It's RNG, and that's what's going to matter the most is RNG. What you choose after that is completely up to you. You can play with it whatever works for you best. The first thing you're always going to do is grab the quest here. There's going to be a quest that one of the dragon aspects have. You always want to grab that first. Now let's talk about the Sands of Time. Sands of Time, when you use the item that you pick up, it's going to give you these things to choose from. The number one thing you need to choose is Powerful Item. What Powerful Item does is it allows you to complete one of the Chrono Portals basically immediately. So that's the most important thing. You need to get at least 2 of them, most likely. You might be able to get with 1, but you probably need to get 2 powerful items. The 2 that you really want to get are Culling of Strathdome. You have to get that one. And then Ruins of Vanderhall. That one's a little bit more flexible. The second best thing is Damage and Healing, just because it increases your damage and healing, allows you to go faster. Second best thing. Third thing is a Bronze Drake, which is going to complete one of the Dragon Shrines. So one of the first things we did, so like the Azure Dragon Shrine, the Alexstrasza's Ruby Dragon Shrine, kills one of those bosses. So you're going to lose a Sand of Time for not killing the boss, but you're going to gain time. 4 and 5, I have tied extra time damage reduction. For me, extra time was better because I didn't need the damage reduction. But if you find yourself dying a lot, damage reduction might be a little bit ahead of extra time. Number 6, I have speed. That'll help save you some time, but it's not enough. After you get about 4 stacks of it, it's pretty nice, but other than that, not really. The things you avoid are Rep, Temporary Buff, which is just going to give you Reputation, Treasure, and Time Warp Badges. None of these things are needed for when you're actually trying to complete it. You'll never have to click on any of them because they'll always be opposite one of these things that is at least a little bit more useful. Of course, speed and damage reduction are not that useful. Neither is extra time. You're mostly hoping for one of the top 3 things. But yeah, of course, the next 3 are way better than the things that you avoid. Never use those avoid things when you're actually trying to complete it. So you're buffed up. Maybe you're using a flask. Maybe you're using other stuff. Don't waste your time using all this other stuff. You can come back and farm time with badges later. You can try to do the treasures later. Reputation you'll get on your own, trust me. If you do complete it quick enough before you're like exalted with her, then you can come back and get reputation as well. You never have to stop doing it. So I'm just trying to think if I missed anything. Damage and healing, again, healing if you're healing a tank Chromie, that's more healing for you, so that still saves in that order either way. Extra time, I'll go over that a little bit more. You could have anywhere from a minute to like 7 minutes of extra time. If you have 7 minutes extra time, you're probably not going to finish it, as weird as that sounds. Now, this is how to use the powerful items. This is important. So it's going to put the box in your bag. So you're going to open up the bag or put it on your bar somewhere that you can open it up. Number one thing you need to get is calling a Strathcombe key. This allows you to go to the door and unlock it, the market door. That's important. You need to get that one. The ruins of Anderhall. You talk to a druid in the starting building, big old cow, and go grab the quest from Chromie. She'll run outside. The quest will complete, and you can still get your Sand of Time. Well of Eternity, you just get teleported to the end of the instance when you use your item inside. Hyjal, you go to where Chromie's standing, the original Chromie, and then that'll summon the last boss, and you'll be able to do that. So now let's get into this part. So I go from bottom to top. So we start in Emerald. But first things first, there's these centaurs that I mentioned in the beginning part. And you're going to kill these because these drop 1 to 2 Sands of Time. The one here in front of the Emerald Dragon Triad just does this Pulsing Shards ability. Now what you're going to see me do is run away a little bit. You can actually run away and avoid it completely. I got a stack to 3. I think it goes up to 5. It does a ton of damage if it gets to 5, and that's why I ran away. I don't know if it even hits ranged people at all, as long as you're far away. As you can see, I even almost died even though I ran away. But I chose damage reduction buff over reputation. I chose time over time warp badges. So you go to the claw again. I'm not going to show you killing him again. If you need to see how to kill these Dragon Shrine bosses, you need to watch the beginning part, or at least pick and choose where they are and go watch on how to kill them, because I'm just going to speed through this. So first thing first, I go ahead and kill him, get my Sand of Time there. Got a damage and healing buff, which is good. Something I want to point out is if you are getting all crap, so all you've gotten is time out of your first like 8 Sands of Time, all you've gotten is like plus time and damage reduction, you might as well just go reset it. You reset it at the very small chrono portal where you first start with Chromie at. So based on my own personal class, I'm a Rep Paladin. I don't have my wings up right now, so I'm not going to go to the next boss. I go to this next Gargantuan outside of the Azure Dragon Shrine. He just summons maggots. From what I could tell, they didn't really do anything. They basically just died when they touched me, or my AoE was just killing them too fast or something. But yeah, this guy is really easy. He doesn't even hit that hard. And we'll use my Sand of Time. I got another damage buff, which is great. My wings still aren't up, so I went straight north. Outside of this Rimrest is the one. It'll be on the left side if you're coming from the Azure. And he just does a big ability that you want to use like a defensive for. A Bone Crack, I believe it's called. After killing him, now we're going to go down to the Azure because I have my wings. You can do this in any order that fits you. I'm just doing this time to line up with my buffs. So we're going to kill him again, him and his Lingering Shadows. If you watch the beginning part, he had like 1,000,000 Lingering Shadows. This time he has a whopping 3. So I got a lot better at that as I practiced it. And okay, so we're going to go and we're going to do that. Now there's a chest here. Now there's a chest straight to the left from where I was just at, or it spawns here. Either way, I suggest getting it. So you can get up to 3 things in the chest. I happen to get a Bronze Drake, and then I got time, and then I got damage reduction. Now he took out the Ruby Dragon Shrine for me. That's what the Bronze Drakes do. That's what we went over in what the Bronze Drakes do. So if you go to the Ruby Dragon Shrine, there could be a chest right there. You notice I slowed it down right to the right of the opening of the tree. There could be a chest there. If it's not there, it's in the northwest corner right here. This would be the other option of the chest. So there's 2 chests that I go for, 2 Dragon Shrines that I get the chest from, and that's Azure and Ruby, no matter what. So as we already went over, the Ruby Dragon Shrine person's already dead, so I can't kill the Lich thing. It's already dead. So I got another damage and healing, speed, but what I can do is I can still kill the Gargantuan outside of the Ruby Dragon Shrine. These things are always kind of between the temple and the Dragon Shrine. That's where these Gargantuans are. So even though I was on the way left of the Dragon Shrine, I need to go back to the northeast to get to him. This guy just puts a rune on the ground. Don't stand in the rune. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I happen to get another Bronze Drake here. This is great. If you get a Bronze Drake, you want to get the Bronze Drake for the Obsidian Dragon Shrine, because then you can avoid flying all the way to the northwest there. There is a Gargantuan there. If you really are low on Sands of Time and you need to go get 1 or 2 more, there's a Gargantuan there. He patrols the road, again, between the temple and the Dragon Shrine. There's a road right there. It's on your map. So we're going to come up here to the temple. We have it completed, the quest completed, so we're going to go ahead and turn in this quest. We're still hoping to get powerful items. Get damage and healing, which is good. Get some time. and a speed buff. So no. So we go to the Well of Eternity first. This is important because this one, you're going to fail this a few times, I'm sure. But what you have to do basically is skip as much of this crap as possible. There's stuff everywhere. There can be a hole straight ahead where I just was that you can fit through, or there's going to be a hole on the right side that you can go through. Now, because I'm melee, I pulled that guy and ran away. You don't have to do this. I ran away to get him to fly down. Now, these little Fellstalkers, they're going to be coming out all the time. They're going to be annoying. They're going to be putting you in combat so you can't mount up and stuff like that. They just keep coming no matter what. So I killed him. Now I can't mount up because another one of these things comes out. They're coming straight at you. Luckily, they don't aggro other things. Now you can see there's a big hole on the right here. This hole could start out in the middle, but either way, you're going to come to the right. So if you came through the middle, about right straight ahead of me is where you would turn right at. So, and the reason why you want to get over here to begin with is because there can be a chest that spawns right here. So this is where the chest is there, and I'll show you where the other chest could be. I get another damage and healing buff. So as you see, I'm already up to 5. So at this point, I was pretty confident in what I was going to do. So I didn't even bother mounting up here because this hole was so big. And this is what you got to do. You can maybe pull 1 or 2 of these, but you want to skip as much as possible. Get all the way to the back here because you're going to be in combat with one of these little Fellstalkers. As you can see, it's running up, and you're going to want to click on the portal as soon as it dies because you don't want another one. As soon as one spawns, you're in combat with it. So your Chromie pops time warp there for no reason. So then you go through this portal, and I'll show you real quick where this other chest can be. It's right here by this little tent. So that's what I was just doing. I even knew it wouldn't be there, but you know, you go check or put it in the video anyways. That's where the other chest could be. So now we're just going to go ahead and kill these ads on this bridge. There'll be 3 sets of these ads. They AoE down real easy, especially if you have 5 damage buffs like I do right now. I speed this up a little bit because it's a little bit redundant. I don't understand why they needed to put so many of them, to be honest. They can drop sands of time, though, just like anything else can. So, not completely pointless. After you kill this third set, just kind of stay to the right. There is an ad on the left side. There's no reason to pull it because you can skip it. So you're going to go ahead and skip that ad to the left, stick to the right, go down the stairs, and we'll get to the last set of 3. Again, they're demons and stuff, but they don't hit any harder than the other ones do. You can see the final boss there in the back left. And at this point, we only have 5 minutes and 35 seconds left. Not the greatest amount of time left, but yeah. So we'll go ahead and kill him. He just basically does this spell glare, and he's going to summon some walk-by guys, these images of doom. I'm assuming you just don't stand in them. I think I got a speed buff there. So I have quite a few speed buffs now as well. I think 3. So I just kind of run. Once you get, like I said, once you have 3 or 4 speed buffs, as I said earlier, it can be useful. So now we're going to go to the Hydro one. The Hydro portal, you go stand on Chromie, and then your other Chromie will start the combat for you. These dogs hit really hard. I pulled them all because I had this huge damage buff. I had no worries about it whatsoever. There's also chests on this one as well, which I will not go get. Oh yeah, I do go get it. But I do want to tell you the different locations of them. So you'll see the one that I go get. However, so where Chromie's at now, or from where you start this, where Chromie's at, directly behind, you can see it right now in the top left. There'll be dogs standing there, and if there's 3 dogs there, that means the chest is there. If it's not there, or 2 more where my right is right now, right there where those big fire elementals just were, it'll be in the very back, is the best way to say it. So these birds are the hardest thing to worry about here. And what these birds do is they'll put this Gout of Flame or this Storm of Flame, stun them, don't stand in anything, you will die to these. The second part, I went over the dog part. The second part is just what you want to look out for is these things put a reflective shield up, so you don't want to reflect and kill yourself. And then the third guy is just summons an ad. I don't have any trouble with him. This behemoth, he just does like a AoE that you can interrupt Fire Nova, and I think he's stunnable as well. And he'll put like a little volcano on your feet, which you just saw. So just don't stand in the volcano after it spawns. He's very easy to kill as well, especially when you have a super damage buff. So you get your same time there. As you see, I still haven't got a powerful item. So at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to finish it. And I don't quite finish it in this run. It's the next run that I actually finish it in. So this is where the chest would be here if these 3 elementals are spawned. And I actually sneak in, and I only pulled 2 of them. It's actually the only time I've ever only pulled 2 of them. Usually I pull all 3 of them and the dogs, and just, it's a lot of damage. I will warn you if you pull everything. So be as careful as you can, pull as little as you can. Fly up as high as you can when you get here to not pull any birds. That's something important as well. So get another speed buff, get some time, and there we go. So as you can see, that only took about 4 minutes or less to do that one. So that one wasn't bad. As I got in combat there, but I'm going to skip past that. So now we're in the ruins of Vanderhall. You talk to Chromie, and now what you're going to do is kill this siege cannon, which is going to be on your mini map. But to do this, you're going to have to take some buffs off it first. So what we're going to do here is if you fly where I fly, and this is just the way I recommend doing it, I pull 2 at a time here. If you can only pull 1 at a time, pull 1 at a time. If you can pull all 6 at a time, pull 6 at a time. But we're going to kill 6 of these, and then we're going to kill 1 more who's next to a guy that we have to kill. So you're going to pull it no matter what anyways. So we're going to go ahead and kill these 2. They can drop Sands of Time, but we're mostly getting these explosives that they drop. All right, so these war captains or whatever they're called. I think I call them Cavaliers for some reason. And then there's 4 over here in this little field that I pull. So there's that guy, and there's 2 more over here. Now what I like to do is I like to use a cooldown here because you don't need the cooldowns on the other guy. So I like to use my cooldowns. You definitely will need a defensive, and it helps that I have this big damage buff. If you're going in here first for some reason, you're definitely not going to want to pull all this stuff without any of your buffs because they hit really, really hard. Even one of them hits pretty hard. So now you have 6 military explosives. What those do is 15% of the damage to the big fell cannon. I get 7 of them, so that way I just don't have to worry about it, and I just kill the cannon. 7 times 15 is 105, so you just kill the cannon with them. So this little boss is the first thing you have to kill. It overcharges, and that's like a static thing. Overcharge, you interrupt. Static, you stun. And then static blast. If you can't stun and you don't have a stun, you need to run out of it. It does hit pretty hard. You can survive one. It's not a big deal. She'll probably drop a Sand of Time, and also then one of the items to disarm the fell cannon. You need to disarm 2 different things off of it. So now we're going to fly over to the poison sector, as I like to call it. And there's the Cavalier guy, or the horse guy, and then there's the guy you have to kill. And the only way you find this out is by trial and error. So they're going to do volatile vials, which you're going to want to stun. If you can't stun it, you just got to keep moving because it's going to put stuff on the ground. I like to stun this because then I don't have to move and I can just sit there and DPS. And she's also going to get really big and do a bunch of damage to you. I just pop a defensive, which for me is my shield of righteousness, and I just keep going to town on her and get my stun back up. Volatile vials, wait for it to start. I don't think I waited for it to start there, but it didn't matter because she was almost dead. But wait for it to start, and then she won't cast it again. So if you stun it after she starts throwing them, basically. Another damage reduction. So now in your bags, you'll have 2 things to disarm this fell cannon, and you'll have 7 military explosives. So I parked right here where I won't aggro anything. Use your 2 disarming things first. 7 explosives. Put these things on your bars if you want to. That'll save even more time. And you'll have this completed. So as you can see, I have 3 done. I still have 2 minutes left. However, 2 minutes is not enough to do Calling a Stratholme without the key. So it's not even close. It's going to take closer to 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm hoping to get a powerful item. Again, I don't. So what I tried to do, I should say, is go back in and try to get some more Sands of Time by killing some stuff, just for the sake of hoping that maybe I could get it. Because again, okay, so here is the Calling of Stratholme. This is for the time when I actually completed it. So I got the powerful item. The powerful item had the Calling of Stratholme key in it. So if you have the Calling of Stratholme, again, I'm not going to even show you how to do the Calling of Stratholme. If you have questions if you feel like you can do it fast enough and have questions about it, feel free to ask. I'll tell you how to do it. I did it 1,000,000 times as fast as I could. But if you get the key, you just go over here to market and you can open this door and it takes you right to the end. This is why it's so important. It goes from 5 to 7 minutes in my personal experience to like a minute. So it's much quicker. As you can see, I have like 3 minutes left and all I have to do is kill 1 boss. So at this point, I knew I was going to complete it. So you just go kill him. What he does is he can kill you. He summons an ad. Normally, if you don't have the key, there'll be other ads in here as well. He summons ads, kill them, and he'll tie you and Chromie together. You need to get 20 yards apart to break it. If you don't, you will die. So you do need to do that mechanic no matter what. As you can see, I destroyed him very quickly. So it doesn't matter. You free Chromie by clicking on the little web there. And then there, as you can see, I finished it out. That was 8 of 8. Now, again, it is RNG. You're going to need a couple powerful items to get this done. Um, on mine, I happened to get the two that I really needed, which was Anderhall and calling a Strathhome. You just leave, then you talk to Chromie, the Deaths of Chromie, and then you'll get your Time Warp badges plus your transmog appearance, and that's all you get from it. But I don't even necessarily like my transmog appearance, but I did really enjoy doing this scenario. Basically, just so you guys know, full disclosure, it took me about 7.5 to 8 hours of playtime to do this, so it's not easy. But good luck to everyone, and have a good one.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Thumbs up and sub as always. Also comment below, share the videos. Appreciate it so much. You can also check me out at Twitter at WoW Gaming Inc. and at Twitch with the tag name Kneecap Killa. So everyone have a good one and see you again soon.